What's up, YouTube? Today, we're going to watch some LSF React. We're going to watch, we're going to talk, we're going to have some fun.
You bake it for 30 minutes.
What the fuck? What?
I don't even know what the context is there. You know what? A lot of these LSF stuff, it makes me curious about a stream. And so I feel like that's the way to watch streams, is to watch clips until you find something that's interesting. And then you go into the VOD to find out the context if you're interested. Instead of watching a streamer for like 12 hours a day, trying to wait for something and wasting time. I feel like it's way better to just like wait for clips that pique your interest. And then you go into the VOD if you're interested, because then it's like it filters out all the stuff. You get only like the most key moments. I don't want to just spend 12 hours a day watching Twitch.
His latest encounter with a toxic fan who roasted him over what he deemed to be suboptimal play on Hearthstone.
Okay, another person who's just like bugging a streamer over their play. And obviously a lot of streamers have, people have been dying for content lately. I think COVID really set off Twitch streaming and live streaming in general. But I feel like it's just become so saturated. I think everybody's starting to get really like a lot of burnout. There's some exceptions because like OTK, they took things up a notch. They started doing more variety content that's not game related, which is really good for television. A lot of television has done really well. Like if you look at like Nickelodeon would have like the Slime Time Live and stuff like that. There's a lot of game shows and stuff like that. And OTK has really figured that out, that it's twitch.tv. It's TV. You want people to actually like watch and enjoy it. And while gaming is still a part of it and will always be a part of it, because literally streaming is a medium and not a genre. The streaming medium is just literally recording stuff live. Like I'm doing this LSF recap live. The reason you want to do variety is because like you get so much burnout. I don't want to accuse Pokimane of anything, but honestly, like the whole stuff with Gideon and all that, the hate raid, she's had many hate raids in the past. I feel like they're trying to stage a narrative. And everybody knows this intuitively. This is a deliberate effort to try to teach people why going through getting hate raided, responding to it, and then the recourse of that and any kind of redemption or whatever, going through the whole process in a narrative, which is kind of interesting. But I feel like people are just really dying for content, and obviously people are clipping stuff and putting up on LSF, and then it gets a lot of media attention within the Twitch sphere. We're seeing a video of like Summit, who's a pretty cool streamer and he's a pretty chill guy. There was the issues with GTA RP and how he got like banned and stuff, and there's always like this little teeny tiny drama that happens with each streamer. People like seeing drama. The video game content is pretty much dry. The only people who seem to like video game content are the streamers themselves, and obviously the viewers who are just like hardcore lifetime viewers, or people who are trying to learn how to play the game. Like if you're a pro, or if you're like even not a pro but you're like skilled at the game enough and you're learning the game and you want to see how that person plays, like your character or whatever, depending on the game, that's going to take a different form. Video game content is pretty much done for, but it's not done for. It's always going to have a place. If you really want to make it like stand out, you have to do what OTK is doing, which is like make entertainment. It's about people, because if you notice, the reason we're watching this is not because it's about Hearthstone or whatever game, it's because it's about Summit.
I think that's okay. Yo, Mage Look, or Mag Look, Magu Look, whatever your stupid name is. Catch the banhammer. 126 messages here too, man. Hey, later. Don't laugh at my place. Don't make fun of my place. It is what it is, dude. I'm bad or I'm not. You're good. That's fantastic. Don't sit there and talk. I don't like it. There's so many good players on Hearthstone, man. They're everywhere. Well, I don't know if they're everywhere, but, they're on Twitch, man. Go watch them. Those guys won't make as many misplays. You want to watch someone who sucks at a game? That's why you're here. Why the f would you make fun of it, is what I'm trying to say. Now you're banned. It sucks. You can't even see the chat laughing at you right now.
There was this one dude who was trying to hit on me at one of the bars. He was way older than me. He was like 35 to 40. But nothing.
Yeah, and she's telling this as like a joke, but honestly, like this is really commonplace. This was a huge shift for me. I'm not trying to like say, oh, look at me, I'm like abused, or I'm like a victim or whatever. One thing I noticed about being a woman, I was in the DMV just getting my driver's license because I had because I legally changed my name. and gender. And I walked out, and there was this guy mumbling behind me, and I didn't think he was talking to me. I thought he was like on the phone or something. And he said, I heard, "You're beautiful." And I was like, oh, is he talking to me? And I just kept walking to my car. And then he like kept walking towards me, not like in a menacing way, but it was just really creepy. And then he said, you're beautiful. Do you want to do something sometimes?" And I just like, I just like started, I was like, got quickly into my car, and he was like out, like kind of approaching my window, like came up, and I said, "Goodbye, parking lot person." And I drove the fuck away. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And that's only tip of the iceberg, okay? I've only been seen socially as a woman for like about 2 years. It wasn't even until then that I feel like you get some booba. I'm not afraid. Obviously I'm wearing pajamas right now. That's because I don't feel like it. If I want to wear something that shows my body, I shouldn't have to cover up because of weirdos, okay? They're the ones who are wrong. Like, I should be able to wear my stuff. If I want to be proud of my body and love my body and express myself, I should be able to do that. However, like, obviously some countries you will get killed if you don't cover up, which is really fucked up. I shouldn't have to cover up just because I don't want to get harassed. And that's tip of the iceberg, okay? Like, this is only like, kind of like earlier, like summer of 2021, after like about 2 years of hormones, and I'm going to be getting some surgery. It's going to make me even more feminine. My facial surgeries, most people aren't going to be able to see my genitals, so that's not going to really make a difference as far as like people out in public. It's going to be really rough, okay? Like, I'm only tip of the iceberg. She's been a woman like her whole life, okay? Like, so many girls and women have experienced this kind of harassment, and it's like, I feel like you get this kind of stuff and you just kind of like wave it off because you have to, because otherwise you'd be just like a victim all the time and upset. But really, it is really fucked up. And I think a lot of men, they hear about this and they're like, oh, that guy was a weirdo. Like, not all men are like that. And it's like, it's a lot of men, okay? Like, it's not just one guy, and it's not just an isolated incident. It's not just Emiru. Like, it's every single woman has a story similar to what she's saying.
Nothing wrong with that, but just saying he was like 10 plus years older than me. And one of the things he asked me, he's like, "Do you do stocks? Do you care about crypto?" And I was like, I was gone.
Okay, like maybe he noticed her. Maybe he was stream sniping. That's the thing too. And it's not just because she's a girl. Okay, so you have to understand. But like, there is like this extra. Woman. I refer to myself as a girl, but I usually like, try to not insinuate that, because some women don't like being called a girl. But I refer to myself as a girl, okay? Like, I identify as a girl. I feel like there's a little bit of extra like awkwardness and maybe a little bit of nefariousness when somebody approaches a like streamer and she's female, because it's like there's this extra fear. There's PTSD in a lot of women. I have a lot of PTSD, and that's not even just related to being a woman. It's just gender related in general. Past experiences with people who have hurt me. You might think that you're being okay, and yeah, objectively maybe it's fine, but and usually I'll recognize that my PTSD doesn't always have to do with the person, but I just wish people would be a little bit more aware of that and a little bit more a little bit more understanding and have a little bit more empathy, because like, if you might go up to a man and do something, but if you do that same thing to a woman, it'll activate PTSD. And so not to say that it's your fault, but like, I think it's something a lot of men should be a little bit more aware of, because going up to like a successful or rich person, like, more financially well-off person, and asking them about stocks or whatever, okay, that's a little awkward for anybody. Like, if you went up to Mizkif and did that would be really awkward, because these are all kind of like, it's really inappropriate. Like, you don't just go up to somebody you've never met, especially if you know who they are but they don't know who you are. It's one thing if you just like want to autograph or something, but you don't know this person, you're not friends with them, you don't just start a conversation about stocks with somebody you just met. Obviously if you're at a bar, okay, it's different. If you're at a bar, that's kind of where you can try to approach people. I don't think she's trying to like tell a story. Like, this is kind of like, this is like the more I don't know the exact experience. So maybe it was a lot creepier than it was. Maybe it was a lot less creepier than it seems. Who knows? Either way, it's none of my business. It's you know, I feel like a lot of people, this whole parasocial thing, it's okay to like want to know about other people. That's human nature. So when people say parasocial as a problem, when you start feeling like you know the person and that you like understand what someone's going through to a point where it's like you're making assumptions about people and stuff like that, that becomes a problem, because we literally, you know, streamers, they are not your friend. Doesn't mean you can't like you know, be inspired by them. Doesn't mean you can't you know, respect them, you know, like, and like, you know, follow their career, and obviously, you know, you're going to care about somebody, especially in the streaming medium, because a lot of streamers share their lives in a very intimate way. And so obviously you're going to be along for the ride, but never think that you know the person and that you know what they should have done or like whatever. But at the same time, like, I'm imagining this situation, it sounds pretty reasonable, like a normal bar encounter. I don't really go to bars, but honestly, like, you know, it's pretty normal to approach somebody in a bar. You know, you know, it's what you do. Like, if somebody tells you to go away, you know, you go away. Like, if somebody looks uncomfortable, you should probably back off. You know, you know, as an autistic person, that's one thing I've like don't have. Well, I guess I don't know what I don't know, but I've learned in order to survive, I've really learned how to, you know, to a fault, I've learned how to like read, like, at least even too much, like to a fault. Like I said, I read into what people's actions are so that I know that I'm not going to be overstepping boundaries. But the problem is then I end up like overdoing it, and I end up freezing and like not being able to, and having like extreme anxiety. So that's a problem I'm working on, but you know, because I wasn't diagnosed until I was 31. So my whole life I had to develop my own tools, and my own tools are faulty, which is basically the summation of like the past couple of years, is I've been trying to undo all the damage I did. But in some ways I did some things that are very unique and that give me a lot of superpowers. Okay. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. But just know it's like, I think it's pretty cringe to like approach random strangers, like in general. That's something I want to come, you know, I don't know. As a woman, I think I solved that problem. As a woman, people are going to approach me. Okay. And, you know, interestingly enough, I don't know. I feel like I've always been pretty approachable. Even when I was, you know, I want to do air quotes because like, I would say more masculine, but honestly, I pretty much looked almost exactly the same as I do now, except now I'm more of a feminine side, and I have booba. But you know, like, and I have like, you know, feminine hips, and you know, my skin is soft, and I have you know, female pheromones. I smell different. I feel different. I taste different. I've tasted myself, by the way. Like, I taste different. I taste, you know, like estrogen changes a lot. Okay. I don't think people understand. A lot of people will say like, oh, they associate genitals with whether you're gay or not or whatever. Like, oh, you know, that's a man. It's like a man tastes and smells different than a woman. Even if we have like trans women, like we taste and smell and feel like cisgender women. So, so it's because of estrogen. It sets your body chemistry. And so it's something I didn't anticipate. Because I mostly just wanted. I always knew I needed the genitals. So it's like, when I'm going way off topic here. Basically, when I'm in public, I think I kind of like, I think I kind of solved the problem, because I always felt like I was afraid of approaching people, because when I was a little kid, I actually got in trouble and suspended from school, and I think almost expelled, because I would follow a girl around campus in elementary school, like 4th grade, because I had a crush on her, and I didn't know how to talk to her, so I followed her around the playground, trying to talk to her because I didn't know how to talk to her. And then one day I actually said something really inappropriate because I was trying to be funny. It was twofold. It wasn't even really about her. It was because I wanted the kids to laugh, because I wanted to be the class clown, because everybody hated me, and I wanted everyone to like me. And today, I mean, it's kind of like that today. Why do you think I'm trying to become a content creator? I want people to look at me and like me. Although my reasons are different, my personal fulfillment is different. It's not based on external, it's based on internal. I feel like I kind of solved that problem, because now people will approach me, and I can filter out who I want approaching me. Obviously, I can't just live in fear. Okay, like, women have been living in the world forever. Okay, and obviously there is a little bit of an extra issue because I'm transgender. So there might be people who are attracted to me, and then they find out that, I'm trans even after I have surgery. I feel like after I have genital surgery, I don't have to tell people if it's just like a one night stand, honestly. But it's really hard for me not to tell people. Most people would not know if I don't tell them. So I've been practicing, like, just not telling people I'm trans unless it's relevant. Obviously, if I was going to be in a long-term relationship with somebody, or if I was going to have sex with somebody, obviously I want them to know what genitals they're going to expect. Okay. But I think that's the main reason why people get scared. Like, if people feel like they're being lied to, I feel like it's because of genitals. Like, if you're expecting a vagina and you see a penis, like, I would understand. That would be pretty shocked. If they were expecting it, that'd be one thing. So it's like, if I was going to have sex with somebody, like, I would need them to know that I have that thing. But I feel like after I, get all my surgeries, like, I don't think it's really relevant unless I'm going to be in a long-term relationship with somebody, because then it's like, that's a direct part of my life. Like, that's my experience. It's not just the fact that I'm trans. It's the fact that, like, I would not hide things from somebody if it were a long-term, like, serious relationship. I'm not really looking for a serious relationship, especially not right now, because I'm going through so many changes, like, with surgery. Like, it's just so, the past couple of years have been about me. Okay. Like, I did have, like, a one night stand, in December, but that was a thing. And because of COVID, I really don't want to risk that anymore. It's just like, I don't want to, it's too important. I can't get COVID because it'll delay my surgeries. It'll cause problems, and I've been working way too hard to get here. But I do feel like after I get my bottom surgery, I shouldn't have to tell people. If I'm just out in public and I just have a one night stand, I feel like it might come up in conversation because it's a huge part of my life. And also, as a person who's trying to become have a public career, in content creation, I feel like a lot of people would probably already know that I'm trans. Like, so it's, it'll work itself out, I think. I can't live a private life. It's just, I don't think I'm capable of it. Eventually, I just want people to know I exist and to be a part of my life, at least in auxiliary ways. Anyway, I'm like overthinking this.
I pulled up my phone and showed him my Robinhood, and I was like, he was like, oh my God. He was impressed. I impressed this 40-year-old dude. And then he pulls out, he's like, can I put my Instagram in your phone? And I was like,
yeah, so by the way, don't fucking do this. It's so, there's like this extra, like, weirdness when men approach women. They would not do this if they were doing like they would not do this with a man. I mean, maybe it's different because these people are streamers, like OTK, like, she was with Mizkif and all that, and so it's like, yeah, maybe there's it's not just based on, like, some creepy guy. Like, it's creepy guy, but, like, I feel like it's multiple things. Like, this guy's trying to, like, talk about finances. I mean, literally talking about, like, stocks and stuff. This guy, like, is like a freaking, like, he's trying to leech. And, like, there's better ways to leech, without being a freaking creeper. You in the real world, when you meet people, there's, like, a certain decorum, okay, and there's a path. There's steps you have to take before you enter someone's life. Okay, you don't just approach someone and just because you watch their stream, like they literally don't know you. Like you know them, but they don't know you. Okay, so it's like you can't be a part of someone's life just because you watch their stream. Like, you know, oh hey, I watch your stream, like I'm your friend. No, you're not. You're a random stranger. And even if you were another streamer, if you've worked together even, you're still not friends. Like there's a process. You could become friends, but that's a process. That's separate. That's separate from work. That's separate from stream. You know, that there's a process with people. You know, it starts with hello. And, you know, you have to judge the situation a little bit. And, you know, like, you don't just go up to somebody and, like, ask them for their Instagram, like, and take their phone and, like, have them follow. Like, that's really fucking invasive. It's really invasive. It's one thing if you're like, hey, what I was, so I think the best advice was from Sweet Anita, is because she deals with a lot of harassment from men and women. And what she talks about is basically if somebody, you know, because a lot of guys, they'll ask for a girl's number. But instead of doing that, because a lot of women will just give a fake number. I feel like I have a really unique set of experiences, and I'm very, very, very feminist, and I was like this even before transitioning. I just don't. I tell people to fuck off. Okay, that's my method. Okay, I get angry. Okay, that's. I mean, yeah, it could put my life in danger. I judge the situation. Obviously, I get myself to safety. I make sure I'm safe physically. But the thing is, I don't beat around the bush. But you know, most women, if a guy approaches her and asks for a number, a lot of women will just give a fake number. So it's like what Sweet Anita has said is that if you're somebody who wants somebody's number, instead of asking for her number, give her your number. Because that gives her the choice. It gives her the ability to decide. If you ask for her number, you're basically asking her to give up a lot. But you know, especially with you have to understand that women have faced a lot of harassment simply for having a vagina, and men thinking that they have a right to someone's body just because they want it, and you know, and just because a penis fits inside of a vagina, they think that that's what women are for. And it's obviously that's basically been the entire history of harassment, of misogyny and sexism, is basically like men, and you know, testosterone makes men kind of like physically stronger. I feel like there are downfalls to testosterone, just like you know, I don't think men and women are you know, we're different, but like it's not like one's weaker or stronger. Like yeah, men with testosterone makes you physically stronger, but it kind of fogs your brain. Okay, so like you have to understand, like, but it doesn't make men stupid. It's just kind of, it changes your hormones really do affect your body a lot, and it affects your brain a lot. So testosterone affects the brain a certain way, and so does estrogen. And neither is better or worse, okay? So I don't know why there's this whole battle of the sexes kind of thing. But yeah, if you're attracted to somebody, you approach them, please don't be this fucking guy who approaches her and just like asks if she has stuff. I mean, it's one thing if you're at a bar and you're just trying to have a conversation with somebody, but don't get in someone's face. Don't act like you're friends already. Say like, hey, is it all right if I sit here? Like, I'm looking for somebody to talk to. Like, start with hello. You know, be somebody's friend. And, you know, even before friend, just be somebody who's like somebody that, you know, is a friendly person. You know, you have no expectations. You're at a bar. It's a public place. It's a place where people tend to go to socialize. You're having a drink together. That's it. Okay, there's not everybody goes, just because you're going to the bar to look for somebody to have sex with, doesn't mean somebody else is. Somebody might be going to the bar because they're out with their friends and they want to have fun with their friends. Some people are actually looking to make friends or to even have sex. So you have to like kind of figure your way around. Like, I mean, this is why I don't go out much. but if I did, I don't approach people. And not to say that if I wanted to, I would like kind of approach and I say, hey, like, is it okay if I sit here? I'm trying to, I want to, I'm trying to find somebody to talk to. And, you know, it's not necessarily that I want to be with that person. You know, don't have any expectations with people, because think about it this way. If somebody approached you and made you uncomfortable, it's not that their behavior is making you uncomfortable. It's that like they're not respecting your boundaries. So and you know, this happens. I feel like a lot of hetero men will associate like attraction towards women and change their behavior just because they're attracted. But think about it this way: if you're a hetero male and another man approaches you and is kind of pushy, like generally you're like, hey, can you back off? Like, you know, in fact, a lot of guys get like, they puff their chest out and they get like really angry and stuff. So think about it that way, that if you were if you were a woman who is, you know, especially if you have a history of being abused, not to say that all women are abused, because not all women have a history of, you know, what defines you as a woman is not your trauma. Okay, and you know, there's so many people who say, oh, you're not a woman, you haven't grown up as a woman and experienced trauma. And I'm like, bitch, do you not know my upbringing? Do you not know the harassment I faced? Do you not know the fucking like constant like berating I've had because of my gender, regardless of whether I was perceived male or female? Because I was perceived, you know, interestingly enough and ironically, I was perceived as more feminine my whole life. I did not pass as male, which is really ironic because I, you know, but they, you know, they didn't know, they did it because that's how they were trying to get me. They were like, oh, you know, you're not a man, you're a girl or whatever, which is ironic. Because now, like, the people who are trying to harass me are doing the opposite. They're trying to tell me I'm not a woman. It's just like, it's really funny how that works out. But people you do not know somebody's past. And even then, somebody's past and their trauma is not what defines who they are. And so womanhood is not defined by whether or not you have had past trauma, which a lot of women have been harassed or assaulted or raped, which is sad, but that's not the only case, and not every woman has experienced that, and that is not a badge of honor. It is not a rite of passage. It is only abuse. It doesn't just apply to women, but it is very unique. Okay, and needs to be respected, because a lot of men will say, "Oh, well, men are raped too." It's like, okay, like, everybody understands this, okay? But there's like a systemic issue with harassment towards women.
Sure. And so he puts in his Instagram and like follows himself, and then it was like Miz and Connor were like making sure nothing bad was happening. Connor takes my phone and he's like, "Look, Emmy, you got his Instagram." He instantly taps on.
Good.
Yeah, so he like taps on it and like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's really inappropriate. You don't just like assume that somebody wants to be a part of your life. Like, you know, there's like I said, I'm kind of like, you know, beating a dead horse here. Of course, I'm a perfect streamer. But you know, it's like, there's steps you got to take. Okay, I'm not gonna approach Mizkif. I'm not going to approach Emiru. I'm not going to approach the Botez sisters, okay? Just because I respect them. You know, well, first of all, it's because I respect them, but not just because I respect them as individuals. I enjoy their content. I'm entertained by their content, and I'm inspired by their content. But they do not know me. They know me. They may know me from like Discord or from their stream. That's not the same. Okay, like, it's one thing if they invite, like, hey, like, we're having an event for the Discord, like, let's everybody, like, you know, sign up for here, and, like, you know, you can pre-register. Like, that's one thing if it's like a public event. But like, you don't just show up, like, you know, and this goes for all celebrities. Most celebrities are just trying to live their own life. Okay, and maybe they're okay with, like, you know, every now and then being approached in a very gentle way. Like, you know, maybe you're having dinner and you happen to see like Tom Hanks or something. And then people are usually like afraid to approach. Like if you really want to like approach and like you're, you know, they're, you know, you could just say like, hey, like I debated whether or not to approach you. I'm a big fan. I just thought I would say hi. You know, and like say, you know, introduce yourself a little bit, but that's it, you know, and even then that's a little awkward, but you know, depending on the celebrity, they may or may not be okay with it. And, you know, generally if you truly care about a celebrity, you'd probably research that before you would ever meet them. Like if whether or not they're okay with fans approaching them. And I'm like most of these, I don't think any of these Twitch streamers would appreciate being approached by random fans. There is a process. It's one thing if they reach out to you, and if you see them in public, like especially if they're streaming, like don't stream snipe. Like it's just not cool. And yeah, maybe they might respect you for like being a little bit like, you know, I don't know, maybe, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. Like if I saw Miz in public, I'd be like, hey, like that's Mizkif. Like, and you know, like maybe I don't know. It's I don't know that. See, I don't want to be frozen because I feel like a lot of the times like sometimes you have to take a chance. Like, and you know, like hey, say like hey, like. My name's Rebecca. Like I don't know if you know me, but I've been around the Discord and stuff like that. Just thought I would say hi, and I hope you have a good day. You know, I try my best not to be a problem. You know, and you know, just saying I love what you're doing. I love your work. Like that's it. There's no other appropriate conversation because I literally do not know him. Like, and you know, it's one thing if it says like, oh, come on, like sit with us, like that's different. Okay, it's probably not going to happen, but it might. Okay, okay, but like I'm not going to expect that, and I feel like you know, I feel like, you know, you should not have expectations. This goes with celebrities. This goes with somebody you're attracted to. You know, just treat somebody how like if like, you know, what if you, like take all that out of the equation? Would you approach a random stranger doing what you are going to do? And if the answer is yes, then it's probably okay to do. But there's an additional couple of layers if that person is, first of all, if that person is a woman, and especially if you're like attracted to them. Second of all, if they're a celebrity, there's a little bit of extra layers of things that you probably should consider. Because I don't like being approached by random strangers, generally. Like if I'm out in the public, it's because I'm doing something. And I'm not even a celebrity, okay? So imagine if you're a celebrity and you're used to people trying to like approach you and it just gets so exhausting. It's exhausting for anybody. If I'm at the grocery store, it's even awkward when somebody says, hey, remember we had that college class together? Well, like no, like, yeah, it's kind of nice. But, you know, it's like you kind of have to judge the situation because sometimes people are okay with it. Sometimes people act like they're okay with it. But you know, it's, I don't know. Obviously, I do think that at some point, I do think at some point, like it is important to try to take a chance because you can't just, you know, me personally, I feel like I'm too cognizant of issues like that. Okay, it's working. Okay. Yeah, it's like something was going on. But yeah, like maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'd rather be on the side of caution, especially with celebrities. Like, you know, I don't want to like be a problem. I don't want to, you know, but also, you know, at the same time, you know, things happen in the way they should. So if I were to actually, if I were to ever actually like be appropriate, like, you know, to talk to like Mizkif or like a celebrity, it would be made clear to me. Like there would be a very specific set of circumstances leading up to it. Like, for example, like, hey, Rebecca, just reaching out to you. Do you want to meet for lunch? Like, okay, okay, that's business. That's cool. It wouldn't be for anything other than business at first, you know. And you go from there. Most likely it would only be business. And I don't expect anything. And I think setting your expectations, there's appropriate behavior and there's inappropriate behavior, and a lot of people, I feel, like they approach people with certain expectations. They're like, hey, like, I'm attracted to you. It's like, okay, well, I just met you, and yeah, I don't feel the same way. Like, don't start off that way. Like, start off with hello. If even that. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm too cautious. Maybe I'm too respectful for my own good. I think every now and then you should probably take a chance, but try to be tasteful. Try to be respectful, no matter what. And I trust myself because I'm generally seen as a very respectful person. People generally say that I'm very kind, and that, like, when I talk to people, I don't have assumptions I don't have expectations. I like people, and whatever may happen happens, and that you figure that out as you go. Don't go in guns a-blazing expecting certain outcomes. You're gonna be upset. You're gonna be let down.
I'm ready to stream. I'm bored.
You want to tell us which platform you're going on?
Nope.
You sure? I'll turn off clips. That's fine. We can watch some anime.
Right.
Come on, just tell us. Look, the chat's excited now.
Isn't it obvious? Never mind.
No, that's not obvious for me. Did you see me take a test? Look, all right, I'm going to flip a coin. Chat, if it's heads, she's going to YouTube. Tails, she's going to Twitch.
What about Facebook?
If the coin lands on its side, then she's going to Facebook. Wait, I forgot what I said. What is heads?
I forgot too.
You're going to Facebook. Congratulations.
So I guess Mizkif, he's kind of having fun. He said yesterday he was streaming, he was taking an autism test. Okay, like, I just want to say this right now. I doubt Mizkif is watching, but he might. Who knows? It's good to take these tests, in case you're wondering, like, because he does have ADHD. If he was autistic, he would have been diagnosed, I think, when he was getting diagnosed for ADHD. But honestly, like, if you think you might be on the spectrum or that you might have ADHD, those tests online are just kind of a starting point. And in my opinion, I think they're actually very, very incorrect, like very inaccurate. Because it seems like, but like, that's why you can't use it for diagnosis, because it's a set of complex things that only a licensed professional can tell. And it takes, and especially with autism, it's a very involved testing process, and it takes a lot of time. Like, I'm saying, like, months. And it includes, like, a lot of information gathering, and a lot of, like, there's a lot of things that go into it. It's a very complex disorder. It's a neurological disorder. It basically, your brain is wired differently. Just like with ADHD, it's a neurodivergent disorder. Attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Okay, like, disorder is not the same as a mental illness. Depression is a mental illness. Anxiety, but like, stuff like that. But ADHD, autism, gender dysphoria, which is closely related to autism as well. Like, they're kind of in a family of mental disorders. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're, like, it doesn't mean you're stupid or that you're incapable of learning. It just means that you have a disorder that works differently. And so with autism, your brain is just wired differently, and you've experienced the world in a different way. So a lot of people will take these online tests and then they'll diagnose themselves, which is fine in the interim between you having suspicions and going to a licensed psychiatrist and therapist and doctor. Like, you know, it's a, like, there is a process, and just taking a test online is not enough to determine if you're autistic or not. And so obviously he's doing it for content, and maybe a lot of, you know, obviously I think it can do a lot of good. If someone like Mizkif takes a test for autism, maybe a lot of his viewers might say, hey, maybe I'm on the spectrum. And then that starts the path towards them going to a therapy, like going to a therapist, which I feel like everybody should go to therapy. It doesn't mean you're weak. Doesn't mean you're broken. Doesn't, you know, a therapist, a good therapist, you know, an ethical therapist is not going to tell you you're broken and and not tell you what to do. A therapist is going to help guide you in towards your path so that you can have the best outcome. And if that means you know, a psychiatrist can give medication. You know, if that means seeing if your therapist gets you to, you know, like, hey, I want to connect you with a psychiatrist because I think if you take this medication, it can help you out a lot. Obviously, the decision is always going to be on the individual. But in the end of the day, if you want help, you need to be willing to get help, which means you have to let go of your preconceived notions and trust somebody, especially a licensed professional. Doesn't mean, you know, obviously someone being a licensed professional doesn't mean they can't be unethical, because there are people who do unethical things every now and then. So just be careful, you know, try to use your best judgment, have an open mind. And if you're autistic, it doesn't mean you're broken. The diagnosis is only there to help you. It's not there to be the end all be all. It's not just a diagnosis to say that you can shit on everybody and get away with everything. That's not what it is. It's a diagnosis to help you move towards the path that will give you the best life. It's not to say you're broken and that, like, oh, you know, you're mentally disabled or whatever. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about understanding what's going on so that you could lead yourself towards a path of living your best life.
Whoa!
Nice job, Ray. Holy shit, that's so cool.
Wow, thanks, Miz.
Ray, have you missed hanging out with me?
It's been a while. We've been planning League for like a decade.
Yeah, you plan all that shit and then you just take weeks off at a time to
No,
like,
I
make
don't-
one video. Like,
Oh, do you want to travel anytime soon?
I don't care.
Oh my god! You have a European girlfriend!
Yeah.
He said yeah!
You can go travel.
Yeah, I can travel.
You,
Oh
you ever
my
think about going to
God.
check it out? Maybe you can say hi to Greek when you're
I'm
there.
so happy about that. No American Devil Woman.
Yeah, we actually came to the conclusion that American women are by far the worst.
Stop. No, Ashley is
Hey, come on. Especially Californians. Hey, come on. Me being American is, you know, like, I'm the worst because I'm the worst, not because I'm American, okay? Don't be xenophobic.
great. The other Ashley's
Terrible.
great.
All of them are just trash.
But we've been through some shit, guys. We've been through some shit. I love
American Devil Woman.
So about that ring on your hand, did she finally propose?
Yeah, we're getting married. It's really cringe. I got these rings on Amazon for $20. Here's it. Vicky and I have severe irony poisoning. Everything we do is ironic. Like, we're not even dating. We're actually just, like, ironically dating because it's irony, right?
Dude, you gotta love Soda Poppin', man. He just doesn't give a fucking. He's like on a whole new level compared to, like, he's been like he started all this whole streaming thing. Like, what everybody's doing now, he started. Like, he's like on a level beyond everybody else. Like, even beyond, like, Ninja got like crazy ass success, like, outside of streaming. But you know, that's different. But even before, like, he's he's before Ninja and all that. So it's like I feel like he's just at a completely different level, and his reality is so different from anybody else on this platform. Like, I feel like he just has jokes inside of him that like nobody can understand.
And at one point, we're like making fun of jewelry, and we're like, let's ironically like just browse rings, and then we ironically found these really cheap trash rings, and we're like, ha, yeah, let's buy them, like, ironically. And then we ironically bought them, and then ironically she was like, you better not take it off. I'm like, okay, but ironically, I won't. So we're just ironically wearing it.
Of course, I was not able to speak publicly about Owl while I worked at Twitch for obvious reasons. But you better believe that I was the guy in every meeting going, this is stupid and you're all stupid.
But DJ Weed's starting to become a streamer, isn't he? Like he was just like the PR guy. Now he's actually starting to act like a streamer.
And every single person that worked on the team at that time will confirm that they got sick and tired of me talking about how terrible of a deal this was for like a year and a half. It did not feel good. I'll tell you why it didn't feel good. Because that league cost a lot of money.
You know, it's like if you put somebody in front of a microphone long enough, they end up going down a certain path that will end up with a certain type of like personality on microphone. Like it's like if like, you know, it's just inevitable. Like you just put yourself in front of a camera and a microphone. If you do it long enough, especially with an audience, like you just end up going down certain paths. And it creates like a certain kind of persona. It's kind of interesting.
And a year later, 11 of my staff was laid off. Right? So I was especially angry.
I wonder if he's actually like emoting there. Or if it's, I mean, or if he's just being performative. I don't know. There's stages you go through, okay?
That we did this.
We're supposed to be like confident people, like, oh, it's fine. No, it's gross. It's disgusting. Yeah, I agree. It's just, it's not good. She needs to be put down, man.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ, dude.
I think it's fine.
I almost feel that you know what's funny is Slick is saying it, but I just heard that in Maya's voice. Like, I feel like Maya told him to say that. Because she's got a really kind of dark sense of humor. Like, I totally heard Maya saying that, even though Slick said it. Slick, when are you going to do more femboy streams? I want it.
I think it's fine.
Oh my god. Oh, that's a good ending though. It's a good ending color. This is really good. Right? Then downwards. Then down. Yes!
Holy
no!
He's crazy.
What is this?
Oh
my god.
Oh
my
god. Chat, do you think Lakari knows who he's talking to at all? I don't think. Do you think he literally does? I don't think he has any idea who he's talking to. Black.
Huh?
Did I ever tell you how I know Jimmy?
How come Mizkif keeps using the click? Use control. It's faster. He keeps clicking to level up his abilities. You gotta use Control Q, Control W, Control E, Control R. No, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. It's whatever he does best. I'm just giving him a hard time, okay?
How do you know Jimmy?
Oh, he does VR chat.
Wait, really? You're from VR chat?
Yeah, we just randomly met there. That's it.
Damn. Yeah, there are a lot of crazy people in VR, Miss.
Yeah, that's the only logical way me and him
What
would
do
ever
you do
meet.
for like a living, or like a streamer, or?
No, I streamed, but I quit because I only had like 100 viewers.
Oh, I see.
And
You're pretty entertaining, dude. I think you could.
I just do real
be a
estate
streamer
right now.
easily, actually.
Thank you. If you ever need a house, I got you.
Wait, really? Like a free house? Holy shit.
No, like to buy. Oh, you think I'm rich?
Oh, to buy. Oh.
If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like, and if you want to keep up with the latest news and clips, be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Like, people don't know how to punch.
I don't.
They're like, punch me as hard as you can this arm.
Really?
Yeah, as hard as you can.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I get to punch you as hard as I can.
Nope. I'll punch you.
Oh, that was some baiting right there. And
Just do it for free. You get one for free.
Ah! You just break your wrist.
His hands.
Dude, S-Fan. I mean, he's. Now that's a man.
Sounds like it just broke.
Are you okay?
What the? Ow!
Are you okay?
Elena, rub his wrist. He's hurt.
Dude, I felt your wrist buckle.
Oh yes.
Like,
It did.
literally-
It did.
Not to say like, you know, toxic gender norms, you know, you don't have to be super muscular and you know, like what, you know, there's different ways to be a man. You could be slim, you can be you can have dad bod, you could be super buff, you could be hairy, you know, that doesn't make you any less of a man. But what I'm saying, like, S-Fan's attractive, man.
Someone help this man. Peace.
All right, you guys. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed that LSF React. If you know, make sure to like and subscribe if you like these kind of React videos. I do other kind of content as well. We're working on doing the best we can. Okay, just hold on. Super low effort content, super like lowest common denominator content, but we're gonna get there. Okay.